So today we are going to solve Codeforces round 901 division 2 first problem, that is Jellyfish and Undertale. So here is the problem statement. Flowey has planted a bomb in Snowdin. The bomb has a timer that is initially set to be. Every second the timer will decrease by 1. When the timer reaches 0, the bomb will explode. Okay. To give the residents of Snowdin enough time to evacuate, you will need to delay the bomb from exploding for as long as possible. Okay, you have n tools. Each tool can only be used at most once. If you use the ith tool, the timer will decrease by xi. However, if the timer is changed to an integer larger than a, the timer will be set to a due to a bug. So here it is given that if we choose ith tool out of n tools, then our timer will be increased by xi. Okay, and if this summation is greater than a, then our timer is set to a. Understood now? So the basic thing is that firstly we have given three integers a, b and n. A denotes the maximum value of bomb's timer, means if the timer is greater than a, then it is set to a. Okay, the second integer is b, which is denoting the initial value of the timer of the bomb. Okay, and the third integer n is the number of tools which we are going to use. So the second line of test case is containing n integers xi, x2, x1, x2 up to xn. Okay, which denotes the number of timer which is increased by the number of the number the timer can increase by using the ith tool. Okay, so how we will solve the problem? So the basic logic behind this is that we will decrease the timer up to 1 second. Okay, suppose that currently our timer showing 5 seconds, that after 5 seconds the bomb will explode. So we will use the tool at 1 second. Okay, when 1 second is remaining. Okay, we will use the tool when 1 second is remaining. So just check the code, just check the logic once. So look here, in the first test case our a equal to 5, b equal to 3, n equal to 3, and the vector v is 117. A means after 5 second, means if the timer is greater than 5 second, then it will be set to 5 second. B equal to 3 means initially the bomb timer is started from 3 second, and n equal to 3 means we have total 3 tools, and these 3 tools have timer 1 second, 1 second and 7 seconds. Okay, means we can increase our timer by these seconds by using the tools. So how we will go through? Firstly our b is 3, so our bomb starts from 3 seconds. So when bomb is showing 3 seconds, then we will come up to 1 second. Okay na? So we will just subtract 3 minus 2, which is equal to 1. Okay, so the total seconds which uh, the total seconds will be 2. Okay, means 2 seconds are 2 seconds already passed, and only 1 second is remaining. Okay now, then for j equal to 0 and b equal to 3, we pass 2 seconds and our sum equal to 2. Okay, then again for j equal to 0, now our b is 1, so now we will add the first element of vector 1 second. That means we used the first tool. Okay, so our new timer will be 2 seconds, and then we will subtract 1 second from it, because we are entering into the seconds. Okay, so the total b equal to 1, and our new sum is equal to this 2 plus this 1. Okay, again in the next loop, if our b equal to 1, then again we will use the second tool. Okay, so if we will use the second tool, then again our timer will increase by 1. Okay, so our new timer, if our timer is again increased by 1, then we will decrease it up to 1. So how we will decrease it up to 1? We will simply do minus 1. Okay, so our b is equal to 1 and our sum is equal to 3 plus 1, which is 4. Again our b equal to 1, then again we will iterate in next loop, in next iteration 1 plus 7. We used our last tool. Okay, so the timer is 1 plus 7, which is greater than 5. So if it is greater than 5, then our timer will be set to 5. Understood now? And then we will decrease our timer up to 1 second. So how we will decrease up to 1 second? We will simply subtract 5 minus 4. Okay, so our b equal to 1 second and our total sum is 4 plus this 4. That means we have already passed 4 seconds. So our total sum is 8. Okay, so now our all tools are used. Okay, and total we have 8 seconds. Okay, we have passed already 8 seconds. We have passed 8 seconds, but still our timer is showing 1 second. Means after 1 second, our bomb will explode. Okay, na? So our result will be what? 8 plus 1, which is 9 seconds. I hope you understand. You understood. Next, check the second test case. So in second test case, our A is 7, B is 1, N is 5, and this is B. So basically A is 7 means if the timer will cross 7 seconds, then it will be set to 7 seconds. Okay. And B equal to 1 means that B equal to 1 means that our timer starts from 1 second. And N equal to 5 means we have 5 tools. Okay, and the timer for each of the 5 tools are given 1, 2, 5, 6, and 8. So again we start from j equal to 0. So if what was the logic? The logic was that if our b is not equal to 1, then we will decrease it up to 1, and if our b is equal to 1, then we will add the then we will use our tools. Okay, so here our b is 1, so simply we use our first tool. So we will use the first this tool which have 1 second. So 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 seconds. So we will decrease it up to 1. So how we will decrease it? We will simply subtract it by 1. So our b is 1 and our sum is 0 plus 1. Understood? Now our b is again 1, so we will use the second tool. So our second tool have 2 seconds time, so we will simply add 2 seconds. So now the new timer will be 3 seconds. So we will decrease it up to 1. So how we will decrease it? We will simply subtract it by 2. So 3 minus 2 equal to 1. Okay, then our sum will be equal to 1 plus this 2 k. Okay, so our sum will be 3 seconds. Okay, now again our b equal to 1, then we will put here b equal to 1, and if b equal to 1, then again we will use our third tool, which is equal to 5 seconds timer. So 1 plus 5 equal to 6, so, which is again less than 7, because our a is 7. Okay na? So which is less than 7. So again we will decrease it up to 1 second. So how we will decrease it? Subtract it by 5. So 6 minus 5 is 1, and our sum will be equal to 3 plus this 5, which is 8 seconds. So already we have passed 8 seconds. Now our again b equal to 1, so we will use the next tool 1 plus 6, and we will decrease it up to 1 second. So 7 minus 6, which is equal to 1, and our sum will be equal to 8 plus 6, which is 14. Now our b is 1. So again 1 plus we will use our last tool. So our last tool have 8 seconds timer. So 8 plus 1, which is 9. But 9 is greater than 7. So if our timer is greater than a, which is 7, then we will set it to 7. So the timer is set to 7, and we will decrease from 7 to 1. So we will just subtract it by 6. So 7 minus 6 is 1. So our sum will be equal to 14 plus this 6, because we have already passed 6 seconds. Okay. So our sum is 20 and our b is 1. So our all tools are used now. So and our timer is still showing 1 second, so our answer will be what? 20 second plus 1 second, which is 21 second. So I hope all of you understood the logic behind this. So let's check the code. So here is the code. So look here, firstly we have sorted the vector. Okay, if it is not sorted, okay, means this vector is the timer of the tools. Okay na? So now in this for loop we will just check that if b is not equal to 1. So if b is not equal to 1, then we just decrease it up to 1. So sum is equal to sum plus b minus 1 and b is equal to 1. Okay, and again we will not complete the loop, we will again go to this step. Okay, and we will again check that if b is equal to 1, then if b is equal to 1, then we will use our first tool. Okay na? So now b equal to 1, then it will go into this else condition. So b plus vj, we will use our first tool. Okay. Likewise, we will use our first tool, and if this b plus vj is greater than a, means which is greater than a, so we will set b equal to a minus 1. Okay, and sum equal to sum plus b minus 1. Okay, so if all these things will happen, you can easily understand this code. Okay, by the logic, if you have understood it. Okay, so now after all these things, we are observing that at the last iteration our b is 1. Okay, means we have to add 1 second to our final answer. Okay na? So here I have added 1 second. That is if j equal to n minus 1, that is for our last iteration, and if b is greater than 0. Okay, then just simply add sum to sum equal to sum plus b. Okay, and then just print sum. So I hope all of you understood the basic logic behind this. If you have any doubt, then you can comment down below.